Oh my God, hi. This is Devin from Disney Adult, a podcast brought to you by the Trident Network. On Disney Adult, we bring together Chicago comedians to watch and discuss Disney movies from the perspective of adults. In these movies, there are things we love, things we hate, things that maybe haven't aged so well, and things that are timeless. The Trident Network's wonderful podcasts, including Disney Adult, can be found anywhere you get your podcasts. Subscribe today.
You and I are going to be like this. I want to know what you're doing. I want to know everything about you, what you're thinking every minute, 24 hours a day.
Right now, I'm thinking this is my room.
So
I'll see you tomorrow.
Wait a minute. We're not done talking here.
One of us is. You're blocking my door.
So
can we continue this tomorrow, please? I have things I need to take care of.
What kind of things?
None of your business.
Danny, I don't think you're getting it. Everything about you here is my business. My business is to follow your every move.
Who is this girl?
Look, I've watched like a gazillion hours of these shows, even the really gross ones where they have to dive into a vat of cockroach larvae.
And what is your point?
The contestants who get the most screen time are the ones who are wildly charismatic, extremely competitive, and usually have overcome some heartbreaking obstacle to get here.
Well, right now, the only heartbreaking obstacle in my life is you.
That's so mean.
He is mean.
He's
mean to her. Because he's having problems, so he has to only think about himself.
Boy problems. Hey, Val.
Hey, Al.
Welcome to D-Commentaries.
Thank you. Welcome to you and welcome to our listeners. Today, we're talking about Now You See It.
Ooh.
Also, maybe originally titled World's Greatest Kid Magician, because that's what Stu always calls it.
Yeah, our BFF Stu.
Our BFF Stu.
Well, and that's the name. Well, okay, so after seeing it, it makes sense because that's the name of the TV show.
Right. I think maybe that was the name of the movie. And then they were like, that's a really long movie title.
Yeah.
Anyway, Now You See It, ellipses, came out January 4th, 2005. The first
We've made
movie
it!
of 2005. My graduation year.
My 6th grade graduation year. God, I always forget our age difference. You're just so young, Val.
I'm so young.
You're so young.
I'm so immature is really what you're trying to tell me.
No, you look young.
Well, I've got the, like, what do you
Skin?
call it on Zoom? No. I've got
The beauty
Zoom,
filter?
fix your
because
face.
I see you in real life and you still have the beauty filter on, Val.
Wouldn't that be
You
nice?
Crazy kook.
Speaking of being in person, we're getting together soon
We're hanging out.
to hang out, to do something fun that we're going to keep a secret from you.
So you have to keep tuning in to hear the secret.
Mm-hmm.
You actually have to like us. So,
Yep.
If you don't like us, now's your time to log off. Thanks for getting us one listen because it's been a minute.
Oh my God. Okay. So Now You See It was directed by Dwayne Dunham.
Mm-hmm.
If you need a refresher, he directed Halloween Town 1, The 13th Year, Ready to Run, Double Teamed, Right on Track, Tiger Cruise, and this is actually his last decom that he directed. Mm-hmm.
Dwayne, we've spent so much time together.
I know.
As
Dwayne.
we go on, we remember all the times we Dwayne together. And as our last movie, come whatever, we will still be decoms forever. Shaka, la 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 la.
Anyway, since it's our last time, I will also remind everyone that he also directed Little Giants. He directed a bunch of episodes of the Clone Wars, and he edited Return of the Jedi.
That's a Star Wars.
It's a Star Wars. Okay. It was written by Bill Fritz, is the credited writer.
Okay.
But as we learned from our Stu Shoutout episode, this was actually written mostly, at least, by Stu Krieger.
Yes.
But as he discussed on our episode, it really just depends on who like touches it last and changes just enough to like qualify as the last person like who actually made a meaningful change to it. So we probably won't ever know exactly what was changed between what Stu wrote and what Bill changed. But I found very interesting that Bill Fritz is not much of a screenwriter. Most of his credits are he's been a producer on several different iterations of Real Housewives, which is so perfect for this movie, and also just bizarre that they somehow got him to write.
I mean, that makes so much sense. Maybe that's why they got him, because it's reality TV. And so they were like, okay, this is the movie, but we need you to punch up all the reality TV and add in any cameras or questions or looking in the camera. That makes so much sense.
I know. Isn't that so interesting?
Wow.
Yeah. I don't think he wrote or worked on any other DCOMs, but it was cool that he, I guess, consulted on would be the right word for this one. Okay. The cast is as follows. Also, I would like to note, normally I pull the cast list from the Wikipedia entry.
Oh.
There were two, like the Wikipedia entry was basically empty for this movie, which I found very bizarre because
I found that same thing because I was looking for something in the plot and I couldn't find the Wikipedia for it.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why specifically this one, but anyway, the cast is as follows. Aly Michalka played Allison Miller. This was actually her first movie.
Wow, really?
Yeah, this was her debut. But she is known for being the Aly of Aly and AJ. She's also going to be in Cowbells, another DCOM coming up. Also written by Stu. She was in Phil of the Future, iZombie. She was in the movie Easy A, which I love.
Yeah, she's good in that too.
Yeah. And she was in a show called Hellcats. Yeah. So she's around. Johnny Pakar played Danny Sinclair. He really has not been in very much.
Okay.
Like the credits that he had, I'd never heard of before. So yeah, not much. You know, I didn't think he was like the worst actor. He must have just either, not had good luck or decided not to pursue it, or I don't know. Then we've got Frank Langella as Max, the like mentor magician who's hosting this big magician competition at his mansion castle thing. Now, Frank Langella, when I saw that he was in this movie, I was shocked because like he is not the type of person who I would peg for being in a DCOM.
Yeah.
He's mostly, honestly, a stage actor. Like that's his like primary thing that he does. But he's been in a lot of movies too. He was in Dave. So he has been in comedies, which is interesting because he's kind of not comedic himself. Yeah. He's very serious. He was in the movie Junior. He was in the movie Eddie with Whoopi Goldberg.
Okay, a lot of names here.
Yes, a lot of names.
Junior is the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's right, where he gets pregnant. Sweet November. The one he's probably best known for is Frost Nixon, where he plays Nixon.
Oh.
He was in a movie called Robot and Frank. He was in Muppets Most Wanted, which I didn't know because I have not seen that.
Is that the one with Tina Fey?
Yes, it's the sequel to the Muppets or whatever the first one was with. I
have
Jason
seen
Segel.
the first one.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that. I think I watched it during lockdown. That the "Am I a man or am I a Muppet" is like a real song. Like I thought it was just a TikTok song. But it's like a real song.
I love that first one. That like first Muppet movie with.
I don't remember not liking it. Like I don't remember. I don't remember anything about it. Yeah, so I guess that means it wasn't bad.
I enjoyed it thoroughly, and the music was fun. Then he was in. Frank Langella was also in Captain Fantastic, The Americans, and The Trial of Chicago 7.
Oh, I saw that one.
Yeah. A lot of people we know were in that movie because it was filmed in Chicago.
Yeah.
Then Chris Olivero played Hunter, the producer who was competing against Aly.
Okay.
He was in Double Teamed. He played like the hot crush.
Oh, that's where I know him from.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there goes my childhood crush.
And then he was also in Kyle XY.
Cool. No belly button.
No belly button. It's literally the only thing I know about that show.
Same.
Gabriel Sunday played Brandon, the other magician who was like Hunter's magician.
Mm-hmm.
He has a weird resume. Like he's still working, but not like a ton. But he was in 2 movies that are both Jewish movies or like
cool.
Jewish. So like one of them was Hanukkah, Oh Hanukkah, A Magical Time of Year. And actually that one I think was a Harry Potter Hanukkah music video fundraiser.
Val, never thought I would hear anyone say those words together in a sentence. So I'm a little shooketh.
So there's like this like nonprofit or whatever called Lumos, which is like the Harry Potter nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
And literally this says A Magical Time of Year, Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts artists in support of Lumos, a music video. I don't know. And then he was also in the most recent credit that he has is something called Passover.gay.
.gay?
I swear to God.
Add it to have you seen.
It's a web series or something.
Have you seen?
It's like a web series or it's a TV series, but I don't know where you could possibly watch it. He's in 1 episode. Yeah, I have no idea. Like there are other people in this show that I recognize, like who are character actors, but yeah, I have no idea what this is. Like it doesn't have a plot description or anything.
Huh?
It looks basically like people having a virtual Seder on Passover, like the poster. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
So maybe that's all it is. I have no idea, but
it's not gay.
It's called Passover.gay. I don't know.
Maybe it means happy.
Maybe. I don't know.
Or maybe it means gay.
Yeah. Either way, that is Gabriel Sunday. Amanda Shaw played Zoe Cunningham, the 3rd magician in the competition. She was just in Stuck in the Suburbs. She was one of the pals.
Yeah. She didn't have like a huge part in this. Or in
Stuck in the Suburbs. That's pretty much all she's done. So, but she was cute in this. Like, I don't know why
I'm surprised she didn't have a bigger spot.
Then we have Deneen Tyler as Miss McAllister. She was sort of the executive producer of the show. And she was in Stuck in the Suburbs. I don't know what part she played because I didn't notice her then. She's also done a lot of movies, like smaller parts in a lot of movies. She was in Runaway Jury, Benjamin Button, Treme, 12 Years a Slave, Dallas Buyers Club, Logan Lucky, Billionaire Boys Club, and Looking for Alaska.
Wow, she's been in a lot.
Yeah, and that's just stuff where either she like had enough of a part that like it was, you could tell, like there was like pictures of her in it, or like she was in multiple episodes of a show or something.
Cool, good for her.
Yeah, so she's working. And she definitely looked familiar to me. Like I was like, yes, I've seen this person before. Then we have Spike Spencer as Paul.
He's the adult mentor for Allison and Person.
That's right. He is the mentor. And he is mostly a voice actor, like pretty big resume, but it was like all anime. Like I'd never heard of any of it before.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Then we have Patricia French, who played Madame Suzette. She was the medium that they brought in at one point to like, evaluate the magic.
Uh-huh.
She's been in a lot of stuff. She's been in Army Wives, The Change Up, Wanderlust, Anchorman 2, Dumb and Dumber.
Oh.
Dumb and Dumber 2, sorry. Something called The Squidbillies.
Yeah, get it right, Val.
Yeah, sorry. And most recently, The Thing About Pam with Renee Zellweger.
Oh, yeah, that like just came out.
Yeah. And then we have Devin Tyler, who had barely a part. She was the linking rings girl. So like when Aly is at the beginning kind of looking at all the magicians, she's the one who can't get her rings to unlink.
Oh, yeah.
But she's been in a lot. She was also in Stuck in the Suburbs, but then she was also in Glory Road, The Great Debaters, also in Benjamin Button, also in 12 Years a Slave, Underground, Watchmen, Antebellum, The Underground Railroad, Deep Water, and most recently on the show Snowfall.
Jeez.
Yeah, so she's working. Mm-hmm. Okay, the synopsis is as follows. An ambitious student producer uncovers a real wizard who is just learning the extent of his incredible powers during the filming of a reality TV show. Yeah. Except that spoils the entire movie.
Yeah. Oops.
Oops.
Well, we don't have to spoil City.
Yeah, we don't. We can just skip spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
A couple fun facts, other than the fact that this is Aly Michalka's debut, and also that this may or may not have gone by World's Greatest Kid Magician for a while. A large portion of this movie was filmed in an abandoned bank in New Orleans.
I did notice they were in New Orleans. You could tell via streetcar.
Yes. And they had to evacuate the set because of Hurricane Ivan.
Wow. Yeah. 2004, 2005.
Mm-hmm. And then another cool thing is the only magic tricks that were not actually performed by the cast were the ones involving any kind of like CGI.
Cool.
Yeah. So they had to like learn
actual magic,
actual like sleight of hand. Yeah.
Magic, Val.
Yeah. Magic. They had to learn magic.
I'm sorry, everyone. Val's just.
I'm sorry.
She's just not feeling herself today. It's okay.
All right. Al.
Val.
What were your first impressions of this flick?
Thanks, Val. I don't know. I want to like this movie. Like, I want to like it. And I don't think I do. And it has nothing to do with the writing and then the acting. I don't know. I just didn't love it. It's not a bad movie, so I'm going to give it a rating. And I don't want this to deter anyone from watching it, but I'm going to give it like a 4.5. I just didn't love it. And I don't know why. Maybe because I watched it yesterday when I wasn't feeling well, but I'm not going to test it to that. I'm going to test it to my opinion.
Great.
I had never seen it before either.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. Now, first impressions.
I'm probably not going to be as polite as you. I did not like this.
Yeah.
I thought there was just a ton of Allison and Danny yelling at each other in different rooms. It was very like chaotic. There were too many characters. And so you couldn't give like anyone enough time to like be a fully formed person, except for like the main 3 characters.
Yeah.
I did think that Frank Langella played, like we've talked about this before, where like I really appreciate when great actors come in and play like they're in a fucking Oscar movie. Like,
yeah, he did a great job.
I love that. He was terrifying. Like I thought he was actually going to like kill them at points. So that was cool. It was cute. Like the magic was cute, especially like knowing that they were actually doing it. And like you can kind of see it sometimes, like the sort of practical way that the magic works. And like that's cool. Like that's fun. And like it's a cool premise, but it just failed in execution. Like I don't know if it was just there was too much going on. There's also like this super annoying narration going on the entire time that we kept like jumping back to. And you know, I haven't seen Aly Michalka in anything else, but like she's or I've seen her in Easy A, but I haven't seen her in like anything other than Easy A. And she's just like so much in this. Like, I don't know if it's just because it's her first movie or if it was because she was being directed to be that way, but it's it's so much. And I know it's like her character is meant to be like too much. Like that's the whole point. Like everyone hates her because she's a know-it-all and she's just a lot. She's very intense. And in that way, I sort of like related to her because like I've been accused of that before. But it was just like exhausting. Yeah. It was exhausting to watch. They took way too long to reveal what was going on with Danny. And so it's just like her nagging at him for like the first 45 minutes of this movie.
And then him being an asshole.
Right. He's just a jerk. And like probably the funniest person in this movie is Brandon, like the other magician. And like they tried to use that, but like they could have done more with his character and like had fun with the comedy of it all. But like they were trying to be so serious. And like I think it would have worked a lot better if like the only person playing this straight was Frank Langella and then everyone else was kind of like having more fun with it. I don't think it was the writing. I think it was like a combination of the directing and the acting, personally.
Yeah.
It was not my favorite. I probably won't watch it again. I was checked out 2/3 of the way in.
It felt long.
It felt really long. You know, I would say watch it for yourself, like evaluate it for yourself. Don't let us tell you not to watch it. This isn't like a You Lucky Dog situation where I'm like, please don't ever make yourself watch that movie. Like, it's not like that at all. It's just like not my taste.
You know, Val, too, I'm going to spoil something for you, which I don't think I've ever done. The reviews from the people, they love this movie.
Huh. And you know what's interesting about that? So I've been thinking more and more.
Congrats, Val. Good job.
Thank you. I've been wondering more and more if I'm like aging out of the sensibilities in these movies. Like, I just don't, I wasn't that much older than them. You know, like they're supposed to be like 15 or something, 16 maybe. Like, I don't know. They're not that old. I was 18. So like,
I don't think it's that. I think that we're just getting to like looking at the next few movies that we have. We're going to have some good ones. We're going to have some bad ones. Look at what we had early on. We had some good ones. We had some bad ones. Like, I'm excited for the like watching of High School Musical. I'm excited for like there are good ones that I don't think that you're going to be like, well, I'm aged out of this. I can't connect to it. Like, I definitely think that they're going to be there. But right now I feel like we're in this like middle school year. Like we're in like the middle school of DCOMs where we're like, okay, like
they're trying to figure out.
They're trying to figure out their voice again because it was so strong in the beginning with your Brink and your Under Wraps and I hate Luck of the Irish, but Luck of the Irish, you know, those strong movies.
Yeah.
We're in this, like, where do we fit? And then I think once we hit High School Musical in 2007.
It's a different era. Yeah.
It's a different era. And then we're like in that like high school, we're a little bit more mature. And so I think to your point, you personally might be just like 2 or 3 years ahead where like this for me is my middle school where I'm trying to figure myself out. The movies I'm watching, I'm not really connecting with because they're trying to figure themselves out. And so 2007 or 2006 is when High School Musical comes out. And so I'm in 8th grade. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, this is, you know, and so I think you're just like a year or two ahead, but not enough ahead where you're not going to like this shit, you know?
No, it's not that at all. I think if anything, I think you're right. Like, I think that as an organization, the DCOM organization, like the people who are making these, we're trying a different style for a while. This sort of like chaotic, almost like slapsticky, like just over the top stuff in a lot of these movies. And like, it's as evidenced by the fact that he didn't write this, but like Dan Berenson wrote like a million of these movies in this era.
And Val hates Dan Berenson.
I just don't really like a lot of his movies that he's written. And I think it's just, they were trying a different style. Like, what I love about those first like swath of movies is, with a couple exceptions, which we both didn't like either, they are much more grounded. Like, they're much more like just real people, like dealing with real problems in a real way. Like, even if it's a fantastical like scenario, like Under Wraps is obviously a perfect example of that. It still feels like the truth of the reality that they are in, right? And like these ones, I feel like are sort of like they're playing down to like a lower level of intelligence. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I mean, I get it, because that's why you like the Halloween Town, because all of the people in that film are buying into the world that they're in. And this one felt very, we know we're actors.
Yeah, it just felt like it felt like it was sort of, and it's weird. Like, I really would love to know what was changed from Stu's script, because we actually talked about this with Stu. He does not like playing down to people. He doesn't like making stupid characters or superfluous characters, right? So like, I don't know what they changed, but it just feels like this is more in that same oeuvre of like these other ones where, you know, when we do improv, like one of the first things you learn is like play to the top of your intelligence. Like, don't try to be funny by playing stupid. Like, you can be dumb, but still play smart. And like, this feels like they're playing dumb or they're being dumb. I don't know how to explain it exactly, but it just feels not insulting. That's way too extreme, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just sort of like, okay, I get it. Like, can we can we just all act like normal human beings?
Yeah.
In this movie. So anyway, tangent over. Al?
Yeah.
Quotes or moments? Did you have any faves?
There was one guy, he was the cameraman, and they were saying goodbye, and he just goes, peace. And I loved that. And also cameraman apparently is my favorite character. Also the cameraman. I bet the only reason we did a bajillion takes is because Allison thinks he's cute. I thought that was funny because he was pissed off. But I mean, it wasn't true. Well, kind of true. Mm-hmm. Okay. Wait, I'm going to say my other one. Someone's pulling rabbits out of a hat and it took her a second. And then someone goes, maybe that one's stuck. It was funny. Okay. And then my favorite moment is when, so in the beginning of the movie, they're like interviewing people of who they want to select as their entry for best kid magician. And they interviewed him and they walk out of the house and she looks up at him in the window and he's looking out like this. He has like these pursed lips. He's like, and it made me crumble. In a bad way. Yeah. Not like in a sexy crumble way. You know. Not like a sexy crumble. Val doesn't sexy crumble. Sorry, Michael. No, it was in like a kind of crumble. You know.
Sure.
Val, any favorite quotes or moments?
Yes. It's not my fault if people ask me questions and I have answers.
That's a Val quote.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this was just the dumbest line. You know, I might be dressed like an elephant, but I feel like a horse is behind. There was one moment where people kept saying wardrobe malfunction. And I think this was like a year after the wardrobe malfunction at the Super Bowl. So they were like hearkening, I think, to that.
Okay, that makes more sense now.
Mm-hmm. And then my favorite quote, and probably my favorite moment because it's my favorite quote, is there's a lot of things we can't explain. ESP, mind readers, Donald Trump's hair.
Insane. I wrote that down and didn't mention it because I knew that you were going to. But it is so interesting, the chokehold that man had on media in the 2000s. Mm-hmm. It's insane. Yep. All right. Well, Val! Oh my God! My top disappeared! All right, welcome to Spoiler City. You know how we got here so fast? Magic. Science is real magic. Okay, so this entire movie, Allison is doing a narration, and Val hated it. I didn't mind it as much because we actually see her, and it's not a VO narration. I actually did appreciate this narration, seeing her face and seeing her reactions. So I'm going to preface with that. So we start with her saying they don't think that Danny Sinclair is real, but she knows that he's real. We cut back all the way in time. So she signed up to produce this reality TV show as a kid because they're looking for like kid producers and they're searching for the world's greatest kid magician. So she signed up to like find an individual magician, be their individual producer. They get a mentor, they get a cameraman, and they're going to follow this kid, this audition for world's greatest kid magician. So that's how we start. She's kind of a know-it-all. She's kind of annoying. In the beginning, she's like raising her hand as she's there on set, and she found out the secret of how to apply to be the producer. And she's like, you always have to look in the background for the clues. And the main guy, Max, is kind of enthralled with her. What's his name, Val?
Franklin Jella.
And so he's a guy. He's the guy who is like in charge of this search. So he is looking for the world's greatest kid magician, basically using everyone else to do his job for him. So we have a kid producer, kid camera person, an adult mentor, and then your magician. So we see a montage of auditioners, blah, 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 blah. We get to the last kid, Danny, and he's super anxious and he can't get the trick right. So he's trying to pop a balloon and a dove's supposed to pop out. And he's trying a million times. Pop, I can do it. Give me one more chance, one more chance, one more chance, one more chance. And so he does it like 80 times. And they're like, okay, dude, whatever. They walk out. That's when she looks at his pursed lips in the window. And then they get to the car and they're putting their camera equipment in the car. They open it up and all of the doves that were supposed to fly out of his hand in the balloon are coming out of the backseat of the car. So they're like, oh my God, this kid's a genius. So they pick him as their like world's greatest kid magician option because it's still a contest. So there's 3 different producers. They choose their kid magician and then everyone goes and competes. So then they're on their way to the place and then they meet the other kids. They're doing card tricks. He like takes the card and slams it against the window and they're like, how did you guess my card and how is it sticking against the window? And that's magic. Then they all get introduced to the lead magic man, Max, and are in his mansion. So this movie takes place in Max's mansion, which is, okay, kind of weird. That's kind of weird. So they all get introduced to Max and they're all going to stay there. So it's a little weird. Danny didn't have his key. And so then the magic man like showed him his key. And then there's 3 kids, 7 days. So it's a week-long competition. There's 3 kids who are competing for the magic. And Danny, I believe kind of from our cold open, he's like, I'll do whatever I can to win this as long as you leave me alone. And so he just wanted to be left alone. And so their first trick
And like, I would just like to point out that Allison is right. Like she is right when she's telling him he needs to be more than just good at magic. He needs to be interesting and he needs to be engaged. Otherwise, he's not going to win the competition. She's not incorrect. He's just got other motives and he's being a dick about it.
Yeah. So they're like mad, but she's his producer. And so their first like task of the competition is they need to make an illusion with a basketball, a rope, a broom, a fish tank, and a bed sheet. And he doesn't want to do it because he says it's silly. And then they fight. They get in a lot of fights. Him and Aly.
So much fun.
And then the girl does hers. She gets a 7. The kid, Brandon, has 0 energy, but he makes some kind. Oh, no, he doesn't go. He goes second. Okay. So then Danny goes second and he has no energy up there, but he makes some kind of he like holds a bed sheet up and then all of the like stuff is intermixed with each other. But he made some kind of contraption where like the basketball is spinning with the rope on the broom, but it's in snow. And so Brandon, the kid, is annoyed. He's like, that was not in the rules. We could only use the 5 items. And so he was like, well, I need an assistant. So he uses Danny as his assistant and he lifts the sheet, but then the kid disappears. And he's like spinning in the back wheel. Like there's a wheel in the back wall and he's like there. And everyone's like, wow, this is amazing. How did Brandon do that? And everyone kind of knows because like, he didn't do that, but he got a 10. And then Aly and Danny fight again and she follows him into a fun house, which makes no sense why it's there, but it's there. And then each person for the second task got like a specific magician and they had to do their most notable trick. So he's studying, trying to find, because he like wanted to come to this mansion to like find more information. And so he's trying to find the secret rooms and hidden chambers. And then they find the books with all the same symbol and it's a map. And so they go searching in the mansion for basically the Chamber of Secrets. And then it's really like watching a live escape room. Cedric, the cameraman, wants to leave. He opens up the vault and the door closes behind them. And then they found a secret library and then he touches a thing and then it transfers them back to the library. I thought that was going to have way more significance and it did not. It literally was just like, this is the way to get back to the main room.
The secret library is just the bank vault. Like they didn't even try to make it look like a library. It's,
because it was an abandoned bank.
Right. It's just the bank vault.
Oh, that's so cool.
With one table and one book in it.
Yeah, I mean literally. So then the girl gets a 6 out of 10 from doing rabbits in a hat. Brandon gets an 8 out of 10 from making a light bulb fly around the room. And then Danny gets in trouble from his elephant trick because he used Brandon as an assistant, and he was like dressed up as an elephant because Houdini's best trick was like making an elephant disappear. So he used Brandon in a suit, and then he was like, I feel like a horse butt. And so then he ended up on a mechanical bull. And then everyone's pressuring him. How'd you do that? How'd you do that? And he was like, I literally don't know, you guys. This is just keep happening to me. Okay. And so then the guy, Max, is like, okay, well, then you have to meet with the WSS panel, which is the Worldwide Skeptics panel. So Danny is hiding in the vault, and he's a freak, but he has powers. So people don't think he's an actual magician, but he's like, I'm a wizard. He doesn't say that, but like, that's what he's implying. He's worried that if he goes against the thing, nothing will happen. And then he's just going to live this way. Or they're going to turn him over to the government, and he's going to turn into a lab rat. So he's just like, any way I see this, it just doesn't work out well. So then they get to the Worldwide Skeptics, and they pressure him into doing some kind of trick, and then he rises from the chair and everyone's clapping. But then Max debunks the trick and is like, this is a hydraulic chair, and he cheated. And then she's mad at him for lying. And I don't know who said this, but someone said, tell it to someone who cares. So they're fighting again. They just fight this whole movie. Mm. And then she goes back and she reevaluates the dove trick from the very beginning and realizes that he's not a magician. You're a wizard, Danny. And so she goes looking for him, and she finally finds Max talking to him alone, and she records it. Keep in mind, this is a reality show, so there's just been cameras everywhere. And so Max made this show to find Danny because I've been looking for someone with your powers. I know powers, what powers? So he like knows that he's like an actual wizard with powers and not just like a magician. So then they use their powers to fight with little knights on the table. So like we kind of see them both having powers in action. And he gives him a ring saying like, this is gonna hone in your skills and you like all this stuff. So it's just like, you're part of the family now. But then he goes away and Paul, the mentor, comes in, and they must keep an eye on him because the ring is actually stealing his powers. And part of the ring is that he can't remove the ring himself. But then Paul finds Aly and is like, hey, what's going on here? And so then she finds Danny and tells him like, hey, and he doesn't believe her because he's a stupid boy. And then she like calls everyone in to the main producer woman of the show and is like, this guy is trying to like hurt my friend. And they go to show the video of she recorded of all that. And then Max like uses his powers to like play with the video so it doesn't actually play. And so Danny doesn't believe her still, which is so annoying. And then all of them rally together and are like, girl, you're crazy. And they send her home. Oh my God. Believe women.
I know. I literally was like, this could be called gaslight. Like,
yeah, truly.
It was so hard to watch that series of scenes.
Yeah.
Like, it was so frustrating.
It was rough. So then they want to solve the puzzle kind of about like why there was like a dead guy who used to own the mansion or whatever, and he's wearing the same ring. So she needs to get back inside to be like, oh my God, like I need to show him that this dead guy is wearing the ring because the old guy stole his powers and he died doing a magic trick. So she sneaks in through a secret chair. And then Max, the old guy, convinces him that he needs the ring. Like, this will help you. His parents are there. The show is starting. And Hunter, the guy from Double Team, tries to get rid of her. And she leads him into the fun house. We get rid of him. He turns her down like 8 times of like, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you. I literally wrote, this is annoying. It was so bad. He just did not believe her. So he's about to do his final trick. This is like, oh, we're about to pick who's the best magician. And he's doing his 100 pounds of lead at first. He's supposed to lift it over his head. And we can tell that like it's not him, but Max is doing it from the chair. And then Max's goal here is if the ring stays on him until the stroke of midnight or whatever, then he'll steal all of his powers. So Max wants to drop the 100,000 pounds of lead on him so that he dies, but he still gets his powers. And then he captures Allison, and it looks like the swords in the box are going into her, which, fun facts, I've been cut in half before at a magic show. I had a lot of anxiety doing it, but it was really cool. I was in 5th grade. And then because he can't remove the ring himself, she removes the ring. And then the two of them get in a magic fight, powers fight.
A duel.
A duel, thank you. A wizard duel. And then he slips the ring on Max's finger, so he starts taking all of his powers, and Danny comes out victorious. And then, somehow all of the tapes from this whole last 7 days have disappeared. But then they all showed up in Allison's room, so she knows the secret. And this whole story was her telling us it. And then Danny went into hiding to hone his skills before they meet again, which I could totally tell this sounded like they were setting up for a sequel. But she's the only one who knows where he is. And then he can like snap her into place whenever he wants to hang out with her. And then they kind of have some sort of like love relationship, which could never end up liking a man who would treat me that way. And that's the end of the story.
Totally unearned. I wrote at the end, why are they dating? Yeah, this was a frustrating movie. And I think as you retold it, I was like, oh yeah, that pissed me off. Oh yeah, that frustrated me. Oh yeah, that annoyed me.
Man, I wanted to like it. I really did.
Yeah. Also, at one point, Max, the old guy, says legerdemain, which is like a French word. And it means a skillful use of one's hands when performing conjuring tricks.
Ooh.
And I liked that word.
Cool. Thanks for our vocab lesson today, Val.
Yeah, anytime.
Let us bingo.
Let us. Okay, I'm going to go first. One hit wonder song.
Yes.
Well, Aly and AJ sing a cover of Do You Believe in Magic over the credits of this movie, but that's not really a one hit wonder. It's a cover. So I don't know if we can count that.
Is Do You Believe in Magic a one hit wonder, though? The Lovin' Spoonful?
Yeah.
Yeah, Val, we're going to mark that one.
Okay.
And you know what? No one can fight me on this because this is me and Val's podcast and I said so. So.
Okay. Also, the song is in The Parent Trap.
So, yeah, look at who you're going to fight if you're going to fight us. Okay.
Parent Trap Core. I'm going to make a shirt that says Parent Trap Core because that's what Sam said last week.
Parent Trap Core. We love Sam. Hey, Sam.
Hey, Sam.
Breaking the fourth wall or looking into the camera. Literally the premise of this movie.
There was so much.
I mean, it's not, it sucks because it's just like, it's not a bad like idea. It was just executed poorly.
Yes. Agreed. Holiday themed. No.
Clunky metaphor.
Yes. So actually, okay. So, I mean, I'm sure there's other ones because like magic can be a metaphor for many, many things. But one thing that I was thinking about, and this, I'm very certain this is too deep to have actually been intentional, but this felt like he was neurodivergent, like something that made him like stand out that he couldn't like control. Yeah. And then like a mentor figure comes and like offers him all the answers by just like, just wear this ring and I'll take care of you and you'll be safe. And he was like very like vulnerable to that because he was already like so desperate. And then when he wears the ring, he feels so good because he like has this confidence and like all of his insecurities are taken away. And so all of a sudden he's like making friends and like he's happy and he's not anxious. And so he doesn't want to take it off and he doesn't want to believe Allison when she's telling him what she saw. And so like it's frustrating that he doesn't listen to her anyway. But I think part of it is because he doesn't want to believe it because he's been sort of like seduced and overcome by this thing. And so like, again, I know it probably wasn't intentional, but that felt very much like that to me.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I marked it.
Okay. Parents who just don't get it. His parents aren't like in it enough.
Yeah,
to really...
I don't think we can mark it.
No.
Okay, cool non-parent adult. I mean, Max was cool for a bit.
Yeah, but I don't think we can count him because he's not actually cool.
Okay, but you know where we could maybe count him, Val?
Someone Too Famous for a TV movie?
You bet your sweet butt.
Yeah, I'll give it to him. I don't know when. Like, I know a lot of his stuff came after this, but he'd been in enough stuff before.
Cool. Competition to resolve central problem. We don't get this one a lot, so I'm excited we get it today. It was literally a magic competition.
It was. A montage sequence.
There were a bunch. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cliche villains. The old man.
The evil magician? Yes.
Evil magician.
Clothes or items you owned. So, not exactly, but she had this shirt that she wore a lot that had this sort of like lace across the top. Mm-hmm. And I definitely had a shirt that was like that. It was like the reverse. So, like, hers was like pink with green lace, and mine was green with pink lace.
Oh, cool. She definitely dressed like Hollister in 2005. So just the like double layers and the tank tops and stuff. Although if we're going to go specific items, I had a deck of cards growing up.
Sure, me too.
All right. I'd say that counts. Rotten tomatoes, 40 to 60.
Well, you kind of gave me a little bit of a hint that people liked this movie. So I'm going to give it a 64.
You win, Val. I was 63.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yep. The people, they were like, I don't know why people don't like this movie. And I was like, did you watch it?
Happily Ever After. Yes.
Yeah.
For some reason they're dating. I don't know.
Yeah. Weird. Almost Kissing.
No. And that's why it's so weird. There's no romantic
dating in the end. Right.
Yeah.
So random.
Yeah. Someone who became famous.
Yeah.
Yes.
Aly. Let's just manifest all Ally's getting famous.
Yes. And valleys.
And valleys. Betraying of one's real friends or values.
I'm going to say yes, because Danny like betrays Allison and doesn't believe her in favor of Max, who he has known for exactly 5 days.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Your childhood crush. No.
Okay, well, I had a crush on the hot guy from Double Teamed, and he's in this movie. Does that count?
I think we've counted that before.
Okay, we're counting it.
Great.
Obviously bad special effects or stunts. Well, honestly, the only thing that was like obviously bad was the fun home.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't actually that bad. Like I really appreciate that they did a lot of the magic with practical effects because I think it added, like, it made it feel more real.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I say maybe no. I'm a stickler.
Stickler. She's a stickler.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Disney Channel star.
Aly.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Aly. Musical number.
No,
but they do play Do You Believe in Magic like twice.
Yeah, I still don't count it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't count, but.
Magic. So much.
Speaking of Do You Believe in Magic? Do you believe in magic?
Also, I would count the like practical illusions as science magic.
I'll take it. Because that's eyeball magic.
Yeah, it's like playing with physics and stuff.
Yeah. Someone says the title of the movie.
No.
I don't think so, which is why, honestly, World's Greatest Kid Magician probably should have stuck. But would that have been too telling and people would not have wanted to watch it? At least having a title where you're like, oh, I want to know what that means. Does it make you watch it? I don't know.
Scuba Dude. Yes.
Those kids sure did figure out their problems.
Mm-hmm. They literally are like doing, like when they're crawling around in the, like finding the library or whatever, like that was very Scooby-Doo. But also they, at the end, they like solve everything.
Yeah. The heroes create the problem.
No.
I don't think they create it. No.
Lead is a fish out of water. Honestly, kind of. Like, she knows what she's doing, but she can't help but be kind of an outcast anyway. And he is also an outcast. So I would say yes.
Val, it's magic. We got one bingo.
Oh, yay.
So we have our diagonal down from the top corner to our bottom corner, which is One Hit Wonder Song, Someone Too Famous for a TV Movie, Happily Ever After, Digi-Channel, and Lead is a Fish Out of Water.
Great.
Yay.
This was a one bingo movie.
It was a one bingo movie, and all the other marks were kind of sporadic. So
yeah. Great.
All right. Well, do you hear that? It's do 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 do. Name that wizard.
Okay.
So in this movie, we figure out that Danny's a wizard, So in this game, you're gonna hear a movie.
Okay.
You're gonna have to tell me the lead actor of that movie. So not the lead character name. You can say it if you need it to help you. And they're all wizard movies. And Val, I think this is going to be easier than you think.
I think it's going to be harder than you think.
Okay. All right. So our first movie, Name That Wizard, the lead person in this movie, the lead actor of Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yep. See, I don't even know who's in that.
It's a decom, Val.
Never seen it. Don't know who's in it.
You need to brush up on your pop culture. It's Selena Gomez.
Great.
Wrong. Should have done that one last. Harry Potter.
Daniel Radcliffe.
There we go. We got her back, people. Wizard of Oz.
Who's the wizard? Or
No.
who's the lead?
The lead of the movie.
Judy Garland.
There we go. Fantastic Beasts.
Eddie Redmayne.
Mm-hmm. We only have 5 today. There's not so many wizard movies. Lord of the Rings.
Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many people in that movie.
But when you Google who's the lead of Lord of the Rings, it's Frodo, and that's Elijah Wood.
Got it.
Congrats, Val. You started off bad, but you ended up getting all of the rest. And I know that someone was listening, screaming, Val, it's Selena Gomez.
I only know Selena Gomez from Only Murders in the Building.
Well, you need to like her from a lot more than that, okay? She's an incredible actress, businesswoman, singer.
Oh, okay. Well,
She's a businesswoman because she owns her own makeup line.
good for her.
Yeah. Rare beauty. I use her cheek tint.
If I wore makeup, I would maybe consider
That's true. Thanks for a lovely day, Val.
Thank you.
And what are we listening to next?
Well, we are watching Buffalo Dreams next.
But
before that, we're going to have a surprise.
a surprise, which is different than our
Then the other
surprise. We have 2. Okay. Suddenly we're all about the surprises.
So many surprises.
Very excited for our next ep. Subscribe, like, and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. I didn't make it to our 500 followers on Instagram by our 2-year anniversary, but maybe we'll get there by 3 years.
Yeah. Or maybe by the end of March Madness.
That's a feat. That's like 130 followers in a week.
You never know.
All right. Val and I have different manifestation styles.
As JP says in Angels in the Outfield, it could happen.
Haven't seen that one probably since I was birthed.
It's great. One of my faves.
Okay, bye, Val. See you soon.
What?
Okay, I'm ready. Bye, Val.
Bye, Al. This podcast was produced by me.
And me.
And it was edited by me.
The music was composed by Michael McNally.
You can find us online at thetridentnetwork.com/dcommentaries-pod.
And you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at dcommentaries.
D-Commentaries is a part of the Trident Network. To learn more about our videos, live shows, and other podcasts, please visit thetridentnetwork.com.
Disney Channel original movies.
Damn it, Allie.